Hello and welcome back. Today we're talking about Miles Morales PS5. And today all the information is all out there, so no spoilers. So it doesn't matter. I'm just doing this video to show my views and my preferences, and I really want to put across there what is new and what the creators wanted to say about the game. And today we recently just found out that on the PS5 remastered version of the PS4 version of Spider-Man, we've seen a new skin, and I'm looking forward to the skin because this skin is from the Amazing Spider-Man. And I don't know if it's the first and second skin, but I know it's the first. I know it's the second Amazing Spider-Man skin, which is going to be released into that game, and I hope they decide to bring that skin into the PS4 version as well, because I want that on both accounts. Because as we know, all your save data is not going to be carried on on to the PS5 with the new remastered Spider-Man game, which I'm not necessarily bothered about because I've recently just played it again, and I know I got platinum, but I don't mind getting it again. I think the Amazing Spider-Man skin though is going to look incredible in game, as there's going to be an upgrade in graphics in the new Spider-Man game, and it does look really good. Like this photo here, it looks incredible, and it looks like it's just from the movie. Anyway, I think we should talk about the actual Miles Morales game as what I planned this video for. And we recently just found out that there's a new game, a new skin coming to Miles Morales, and there's no surprise we knew that already, as the creators like notifying us pretty darn quickly, as they did with the Far From Home skin on the PS4 version of the game. But they recently showed us this new skin, which I think looks really good. Nice white, red, and black. Looks very stealthy, in my opinion. It looks like a stealth suit, which I like. I really like that that look. As well as this, we hear that Peter's on holiday with MJ, and that photo there has actually been used once before. They've just reused it from the old PS4 version, but they just cropped out Harry from the image. But yeah, and they've also changed his face, obviously, which I've got. If you want a video on that, put it down in the comments. I'll gladly do my own views on that they made a mistake of changing Peter's face. But yeah, we also see who Miles is working with, and this is the kid who made the who helped Miles make the app for his phone, which Miles used for the PS4 game, where he was able to turn on different electronics by his phone. He also helped create the suit, which we literally previously saw, and this has got all the abilities and equipments this suit has, which I'm really looking forward to. It looks very sketchy, but it looks really good, and in game it looks incredible. Even this image of it here, it looks incredible in the dark, and it looks right at a place in the dark. As well as this, we've got a hooded suit for Miles, and this reminds me of Gwen, Spider-Woman, one of my favourite characters from the multiverse, and I'll definitely be using that skin. I wish they did integrate Gwen in a way into a game, because she's a very interesting character with a very interesting backstory. Well, just like Miles, but Miles has been changed a couple of times. Like in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it was his uncle who died. In the comics, it was his mum who died. In Spider-Man PS4, it was his dad who died. And the same in this one, obviously. But yeah, I think that'll be interesting. We also see a battle between Rhino and Miles, as well as Peter, but at the minute he's knocked out. As we'll see later on, when at the end of this video there'll be a clip so just hold up and watch that. We also find out that Miles is a bit of he messes things up quite a bit, and this ain't a surprise because he's a new Spider-Man character at this point. So he's less professional, is that the word? Than Peter. As we see here, Peter goes after Rhino because he's got more experience than Miles. So Miles just goes after the little guards. I think the problem with this is they didn't really change the mold of the guards. I think I put it in. Yeah, there it is. Of the guards, they didn't really change the molds of the characters, which I don't have a massive problem with because you don't really take notice of them when you're actually fighting them or when you're actually playing the game. You're more involved with the other main characters in the plot. As far as this, I love this scene where Miles goes through the building. I think that's gonna do the game for me. Because it reminds me a lot when you're able to go through the poles in the original PS4 game, which makes you gain so much momentum. It's unbelievable. And we also see a massive scene where Rhino rampages an entire mall, and I love this scene. It looks absolutely incredible. You also see Peter before this saving, like pushing people out of the way. Like then you'll see it at the end, and we also have a bit with James Jonathan in it, which I absolutely love. I wish they put this at the start, in the original Spider-Man game. Even though we did hear his voice in the podcast, but I wish we actually saw the character. I think that'd be a whole lot better. This scene where Peter's on the ground and Miles has to fight him by himself, and I think that's going to be a great scene. Especially as well as this scene where he goes into a gas tank, and I think this is going to do major damage to the city. But I think it's going to look great. In a minute, there's going to be a scene of the fight scene, so I hope you enjoy. Yeah, and relax.
This Spider-Man is broken. I would like to exchange for new one. This one will do.
Miles, get out of here! Bro. Back? The hell?
Alright. Before I end this video and before the gameplay starts, I just want to mention one of my favourite aspects which they've just integrated. They've actually put in the Spider-Man Miles Morales from the Spider-Man into the multiverse into this game. And that film is my favourite. So I'm definitely going to be using that skin, and it looks incredible. I don't have an image at the minute, and I don't know, and I can't really put it in at the minute. So just search that up, it looks incredible. In a minute, there'll be a video of the entire sequence of fight between Peter and Miles fighting Rhino, and Rhino versus Rhino versus Miles, as well as some talk from the creators. So please enjoy, subscribe, and like. Goodbye.
Hello, tiny spiders.
So Marvel Spider-Man is an amazing game. We all love it. I mean, people are still playing it today. It's incredible. But we knew there are areas that we can improve upon. And one of them was trying to get more of a seamless cinematic experience, an immersive cinematic experience that flowed very naturally from gameplay into cinematic moments back into gameplay again. So that was one of our core pillars, is how do we take our set piece moments and make them even more spectacular by removing any rough edges in them and bringing the peaks higher, right? So whenever we are
Oh, hey, sorry, happy holidays! Worst thing out of this is the bad headlines. I'm kind of lucky.
Rhino has got him on the ropes. And Miles just has to summon something from within to protect his mentor. And that's when the bioelectricity surges through his body. And then we had this really iconic punch that Miles lands on Rhino. And that changes his trajectory of becoming his own Spider-Man.
Now, Peter, a man of science, obviously would find this fascinating. Do you kind of go into that in the story of after he lands this punch, them exploring these powers?
Yeah, the thing that's great is we knew that they're both science nerds, right? So the first thing he says, let's do some science tests, Pete, tomorrow. It's gonna be great, right? And Pete's like, I got something to tell you, right? And then he drops some news on Miles that he is going to join MJ in Symkaria for a couple of weeks. And he's going to dust off his photo skills and be her sidekick photographer for these peace talks. So he can't geek out with Miles over his powers, but what Pete can do and does do